Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. So we got coffee, vanilla yogurt, I got scrambled egg, I got hash brown, ham, I cut up some tomato. So, Leah's not going to school. She probably won't. She got Thursday and Friday off, and I can't see her going all week because today feel like minus 30. Tomorrow feels like minus 36. Wednesday, I'm not going by temperature, I'm going by the wind chill. Minus 40 on Wednesday. And then she got Thursday and Friday off. But LaFonda has to go to parent-teacher tonight and tomorrow night, so she can talk to them. I mean, the buses aren't even running. When it's cold like that, they can't get it started. There's someone getting towed at Tim Hortons right now. And they probably, I think that Carlos, one of the workers, they should plug it in. There must be a plug-in somewhere for them. You think? People get upset when their vehicle in the wintertime don't start and all that. You gotta use gasoline antifreeze. You can't leave it on empty because every tank has water in it and it'll turn to ice. And once you freeze that gas line, there's no unthawing it. You gotta replace it, and it's a big job and expensive. If I was a worker on my break, I would have ran out there and started a couple of times, you know? And not only that, a lot of these ding-dongs, the car's sitting all night, and when you plug it in, it's only a heater block for the battery. It's not for the motor, it's for the battery. They think that it's heating up their motor and the whole car, that small little thing. Anyway, go jump in it. Don't let the thing warm up and take off. No, shit. I learned all this from Jim. Jim was everything. Or he wasn't anything, whatever. But one thing I will say, he knew about vehicles because he was brought up with his father at the junkyard when he was young. He used to go there when he was like 5, 6 years old and spend the whole day. His father taking off parts and shit. His father was the junk man at the time in all St. John. He didn't talk much to the customer. He only talked to the customer long enough to find out what he had, what he needed. Back then, he knew. Jim did too. Like, say it's Tibet. Like what we had. From 92 to 96, all the parts was interchangeable. We had, what was it? What vehicle was it? I can't remember. I think it was a Cavalier. And the battery kept on going. And it wasn't the starter, and it wasn't the link. It wasn't the fusible link. It was the alternator. So next day he called the junkyard. It was weekend. He asked them. All they do is look up in their inventory. Do you have, I think it was a 96 Cavalier, 95, 96, something like that. A 96, just saying. 96 Cavalier, I need now an alternator. The kid gets on the computer. No, we don't have any. He said, well, do you got a 95? I checked. No, we don't have any. He said, yeah, but we got a 94. He said, no, it won't work. He said, do you got a 97? He had one. He said, okay, how much? Since he didn't have the right one, they gave him a pretty good discount. I think he only had to pay half. Because he wanted a 96 and he couldn't get it. The only difference, he told me, when he went and picked it up, he got a friend to go drive him. Came back. They were only one thing different, and it was the bolt. They were an extra screw. But you didn't need that, because they were 5 anyway. So who cares? He could have drew a hole and made one, right? But it was on there tight enough. So it wasn't going to fall off. The bolts were long like this, and it fit perfectly, and he knew it. But he lost business, because he would probably lose a lot of business, the guy, because he didn't know, what was it? He didn't know his vehicles, his parts. So he learned all that from his father. His father knew all that. You had a vehicle, he could tell you. Nowadays, it's like a phone or a computer. Every year it's different. You can't use the same case for any years. All of them different. You probably might be able to, like the Samsung, maybe the AS or the A whatever to the S23 or whatever. I don't know. I just throw them out when I get rid of the phone. But they want to make sure they make money, right? They want to make sure, like when I get that S25 Ultra, it's not gonna, that case is not gonna fit on it. Even though I'm getting Ultra, but the hose are gonna be off or something that you can't plug it in, or that's what they do with vehicles nowadays. You gotta tear the whole vehicle apart just to take the battery out. Take the fender off. And I know they were a Dodge that Fidel, our neighbor, he knew Dad good. Well, his son, Jim didn't like Dodgers. Certain years. But he wasn't a big fan. He had this white Dodge. I always got trouble with it. It was the link. He had to go Canadian Tire, get the link. It was sitting in Fidel's driveway forever. He didn't live there. They finally got rid of him. And anyway, he went to visit and then couldn't start it. Jim fixed that. Finally came and got his car. But then his battery went. I mean, this was a putt-putt. It was just to get him from point A to point B, right? Jim said he had to tear the whole car apart practically, the whole front end on one side to get at the battery. He said, I never seen, because he was going to boost them. He was sitting there all the time. That's it. The battery went down because it was sitting there for a long time because nobody could figure out. Everybody was looking at it, and it was a link. And then you had to take it apart. It's in the front, almost underneath the driver's right tire. So we took it apart, put it on, not thinking to look. Well, he had it apart, the battery, because they weren't even thinking that it was going to go dead. And he already had it apart. But I went over to get him something or something, I don't know. And I seen it. And our Toyota done the same thing, and you didn't have to take it apart. You could get right at it, and it was the same one, identical. It's identical place, not the part. The part looked totally different. But anyway. Then they went to start it, wouldn't start. So, but Al had his own vehicle, right? So he said, oh, I'll just start it. He said, now how are we going to get at that battery? He said, well, I've got to take it apart again, I guess. He never seen anything like it. But he didn't like Dodge Caravans. He didn't like Dodge. He wasn't a Dodge lover. But that old Toyota, I tell you. They stopped making it to sell. And the Chevette hatchback. They last too long. Couldn't kill them. Even in Ottawa, Montreal, we had that Chevette, we had another Chevette. We brought up a Chevette. No, we brought up one, but it didn't pass the inspection. We got another one. $400. Bunny was leaving. He was leaving to go back to school, and he just wanted to get rid of where he prance or something. I don't know. I sold it for like $400, and we grabbed a hold of that thing. Well, I tell you, we never had underground parking. We never plugged it in. And when we moved to Ottawa, and Alice got sick again because we moved because she was on remission. It didn't last very long. 3-4 months, and 7 of them came back. So anyway, we until we could move, we had to travel back and forth. That's like 2 hours on the highway with that thing. She ended up back in hospital because she was in hospital, and she was going on to Mom, wanted Mom to drive her home to New Brunswick. And she told her sisters, Lois and them, no, tell her no, I can't. Like, she's ready to die. Like, she was like, oh my God, what if she died while I was driving? And she did pass away the next day or the day after. And it would probably take Mom 2 days to drive that. Usually Montreal to New Brunswick, it wouldn't take that, but that Chevette, man, we would only go 50 miles an hour. Transports would pass us, and then they go up the hill. They're slower, so we pass them. Then we go flatland, and they pass us. Oh my God, I know they wanted to choke. They wanted to choke us. Probably saying, there's that friggin' Chevette again. But, yeah. Remember when it took us 3-4 hours one time. Everyone in the ditch. We were just going straight. And rolling on a pond down there. Thank God we didn't break down. So anyway, that's about it. Not much to talk about. She got parent teacher, but I just cooked something for me and Ian and Leah. She'll see 2 teachers tonight and 2 teachers tomorrow night. What else? What did I do yesterday? What did we have for supper? It was Sunday. She made these. I always seen the meatballs with the great jam, jelly, whatever. She cooked it in slow cooker. I didn't care for them. She bought the little meatballs. Always seen the recipe and never ever made it. Thank God. Wondering why she had grape jelly. I was like, what in the world? Or blueberry, a grape, yeah. I don't like it. Even if it would have been homemade meatballs, I don't think I would have liked it. I don't like the taste of the meat with the jelly. Now, I love bacon and strawberry jam sandwich, but just not my... But I did have some of the mashed potato, and then she cooked up Brussels sprouts and put melted cheese whiz and put it on. It's too much cheese though. But anyway. And that's about it. That's all I had. So I was hungry. I didn't even, she's getting ready. I slept in all that blanket. Oh man, I had it right up to 8. If it gets hot, it goes down to 5 though. And then I wake up and then it's a little cool and I put it back up to 8. But if it won't overheat or cause a fire or anything. I won't end up being a roasted duck in there or nothing. It goes down to 5 even if you put it. But that's good. You go to sleep and it's an 8. It warms the blue blanket too. Because I got the blue blanket and I got the little things in there. So the little wires, so you got to make sure you don't lean on it or bend those little heat coils in there, right? They got heat coils in there, but I tell you one thing. Wish I would have had that a long time ago. That'll be going when I'm going. I want to be buried, I'm going to tell them. Plug it in, throw it in the coffin. No, I want to be cremated. When they cremate me, wrap me in the blanket. Put it up on high. Anyhow, so that's about it. You guys all have a good day and stay safe, and it's cigarette time.